I'd like to call this meeting to order. Would you please call the roll?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was worrying about.
I knew you were waiting for it to come up. That's okay.
Mr. Bax.
Here.
Mrs. Croft.
Here.
Mr. Ellick.
Here.
Mr. Gebhardt.
Here.
Mrs. Carpus.
Here. Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, and thank you for joining us this evening, coming out on a nice evening like this to be part of our board meeting. I'd like to begin by introducing the board. To my far right, Greg Ellick, Board Vice President Mike Gebhardt, Jim Bax, and Annie Croft, and our first time for a meeting sitting as our superintendent as Dr. Tom Jama, and Katie Hennis, our treasurer. Do we have any board recognition this evening?
Madam President, there are no board recommendations or presentations this evening.
Thank you. Visitors' comments. This place on our agenda is set aside so that the public can participate in our meetings. If you sign up the night of the meeting, you're given 5 minutes, up to 5 minutes to address the board. When you sign up, we ask that you also include the topic that you wish to discuss or to address to us this evening. If you need additional time, 1 week in advance, you can contact the treasurer's office and make arrangements so that you can have, and again, give the subject that you wish to address, and you can have up to 15 minutes, be put on the agenda and have up to 15 minutes. This evening, we have Matt Jablonski has signed up for a topic of issues in public education. And I would ask if you'd please come forward and if you would please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Matt Jablonski. My address is 639 Cornell Avenue, Elyria, Ohio. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Welcome.
Many of you know me as a history teacher from Elyria High. And while in many ways a teacher is always a teacher, I am here today speaking as a parent of a student entering Eastern Heights, an educational activist, a proud resident of the city of Elyria, and an advocate for children. There is a crisis in public education. Contrary to what some would have us believe, it has nothing to do with failing public schools. It has everything to do with those who would, for their own private gain, discredit the incredible work being accomplished by public schools. As has been proven here in Elyria, if an educational community focuses on its function as a team and celebrates its victories while pragmatically addressing its obstacles, that community can find success. However, continued attacks on public education are making our efforts terribly difficult. Over the last several years, an increasingly vocal contingent of administrators, teachers, parents, and students have criticized our system of standardized testing. In the state of Ohio, this activism has forced the hand of politicians. Recently, they decided to eliminate PARCC and cut one of the testing windows. It is not enough. The assessments created by AIR are not any better. 3 hours per test is still inappropriate. We are testing beyond the federal minimum of hours in content areas. While we squander instruction time for the sake of assessments, the tests will continue to measure what they measure best, which is the relative economic well-being of the students taking them. Parents are becoming more aware of the problem. Last year, hundreds of families here in Elyria refused testing. Regardless of our opinions or guidance on the matter, they will again this year. Last week, the ODE released its ramshackle system of safe harbor. Designed to protect students, teachers, and districts from punishment as we roll out yet another unfamiliar testing system, it fails to formally protect public schools from loss of funding due to refusals. Last year, Senator Gail Manning created an amendment that did just that. It needs to happen again. With regard to the loss of funding, state legislators tout millions in funding increases to public education without factoring in the billions cut in past budgets, without mentioning the increases taken from local districts for charter schools that are very often less successful and are as yet completely unregulated. State Superintendent Richard Ross and the Ohio Department of Education have proven that their interest is not public education, but promoting charters. Ross and his staff manipulated the test scores of online charters to increase overall ratings of charter sponsors. Despite having broken the law, Ross has refused to resign and no investigation has been undertaken. Dr. Ross has also admitted to purposefully misleading the state school board by hiding his involvement in the development of the Youngstown Amendment to HB 70. In secret, Ross and others revised and championed a piece of legislation that dismantles the democratic process, dissolves the locally elected school board, and gives a frightening degree of power to an appointed CEO who, within a year, can begin to turn over local public schools to charter school sponsors. While this situation is currently catastrophic for Youngstown, it is dire for our neighbors in Lorain. They are next on the list of likely districts to be subject to this new plan unless they can raise their test scores in the next 2 years. Keep in mind that they are directed to do this despite being led by a state-appointed academic distress commission that has been criticized as dysfunctional under a set of assessments that have yet to be created in a district with high rates of poverty, which, as I mentioned before, almost always correlates to exceedingly low scores on these assessments. Those of us in districts like Lorain and Elyria have tried for years to illustrate the fact that socioeconomic conditions have an adverse effect on our performance on these measures of school success. We've been criticized for making excuses, labeled as failures, then had our districts open to charter schools. In something like the definition of hypocrisy, the charter sponsors who thrived under this system have now decided that it is not fair to rate them without considering socioeconomic factors. Responding to this request, the legislature has announced that they will study the issue through ratings created by the California Similar Students Measure, which takes things like poverty into account when rating schools. There is a crisis in public education, and these are but a few of the major issues. In order to begin to remedy this situation, we need to work as a community. We need to function as a team, as we have done to find success in our schools. You are the leaders of this team. Over the last year, local school boards and district superintendents have become more outspoken regarding education policy. I realize that resolutions, statements, and admonishments do not change the law. They do, however, send a message to legislators. Also, for those of us working tirelessly to change our public education system for the better, they arrive with a sense of vindication for our cause. They have a way of galvanizing the movement, of inspiring individuals who feel small in the face of this adversity. Dr. Jama, you're one of the greatest champions of public education that I have ever met, and one of the few people that I believe are as loyal to the city of Elyria as I am. I hope you will consider expanding on an outspoken tradition for the sake of our schools and our city. I also hope that members of the school board will consider the same. I don't expect a response to these things today. I'm simply asking that you consider these issues I've mentioned, others as they arise, and to consider taking a public stand. I believe that this is a natural extension of the work that we're already doing to assure success in Elyria schools. I look forward to hearing from and working with all of you in the interest of doing what's right for Elyria's kids. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well
Thank
said,
you.
Matt.
And while we do not respond, we will, as legislative liaison, we do have a place set aside for board committee reports, and we are very much aware of and have also had communication as a board regarding that, a resolution, and we're looking at where we will be going with that to get consent. We do no business when we're not in session, so we're looking we're looking at that, and as the legislative liaison, I find it very alarming. I know it was referred to many times as draconian legislation, and the way that it was done and the way that it was handled. And we've seen other things where in the 11th hour and where something, you know, comes up like that to be voted on. I also am very concerned in looking at things that legislation that is to become law October 15th. And when you look at that, I think you get a very good picture of exactly where this is headed. And it is not to champion or support in any way public education.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And this place on our agenda is set aside for board member discussion items. One of the things, as I just mentioned, is that we were given information, and Dr. Jama sent along as well, so that we would have an appropriate time to look at the information regarding a resolution. Are there any other reports or any for the board? Any other items to be discussed this evening?
I have none.
I would just ask the board to, as you look at your the reports, as you look at our reports from Dr. Jama, and as you look at our consultant and going forward, we have much work to be done, and there was some request for looking at some possible dates when we might be able to meet together. And I believe we were to contact Administrative Assistant Mary Wright and to let her know that, so that we can begin to look at scheduling some meetings that accommodates people's schedule. It's very difficult to think of how short the summer is this year, and when you see staff back at work and not much time to spend with family, and for many of the plans that, many of us have plans that from summer to summer, we're kind of used to doing the same things, and we have a very shortened time period this year. So I know that there are things on the schedule and that we have, but this is important, and we're going to put together a time and reply back when we can begin to look at that as we set about the work that we have to do. Our next subject is Capital Conference. This time of year, we always discuss looking at appointing a delegate and an alternate for the Capital Conference. To represent the delegate's responsibility, you will receive an information packet ahead of time that will give you the issues that are going to be discussed by OSBA at the business meeting. And you are the delegate is the voting member for our Board of Education, and then an alternate in the event that the delegate is not able to attend. Is there anyone that wishes to serve as a voting delegate at the Capital Conference this year?
Ann, I thought you were going to do that. No? What is the date for that?
I think it is.
It's November 8th through the 11th.
Mm-hmm. And I believe, Katie, when do you need to have that passed and sent in? Do you have a date for that?
I would like to get it sent in because the JVS is
We have already-
asking if
Yes, we have
we
already.
can make reservations.
Yes, we've already done a JVS. We've already voted on and done that. Of course, JVS meets once a month, so we are
So we're
often a
trying to
little ahead with
get
the
a little
work.
bit
But
of a head start.
I would be available
We
to do
don't
that.
have to have it tonight. We can
Okay.
do it- I mean, if you want to.
Well,
I just wanted to make sure we brought it up.
Jim, if Jim is willing to do that, would you be willing?
be-
Ann?
Yeah, I
You'd be
am.
willing to serve as
I'll be the
alternate?
alternate.
And I would be willing to
Okay.
avail myself for that date as well.
Okay, Jim Bax, we would need a resolution to appoint Jim Bax as our delegate to the Capitol Conference, and to ask Mike Gebhardt and Annie Croft if they would serve as alternates. Usually we only have one alternate. Do you have?
Last year
them?
we had two.
Do we have two? Good,
If you'd
thank
like
you.
to
I know we
do-
can send two
I'll
names. I
pass that
believe
out.
there's one
We have that.
considered as a first for our voting credentials. So I would ask for, again, for a motion to appoint Jim Bax as our delegate for the Capitol Conference, and to appoint Mike Gebhardt and Annie Croft as alternates.
So
Do I have a
moved.
motion? I have a motion by Mr. Elick. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay.
It's pretty much just what you said.
Just what I
Are you
said.
saying-
I'm kind of used to do it.
Just in case you needed it.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mrs. Croft?
Aye.
Mr. Elick?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mrs. Carpus?
Aye, motion carries. Is there any other business, or are there any other items of discussion? Here, and I know, again, Mary Wright always does a good job of taking care of those, the items for the voting delegate, and information for the alternates will come in packets, and she always gets them out to us. So you'll have it to be prepared for the business meeting.
As far as the conference goes,
Yes.
as a team,
Mhm.
are we all, or are we gonna,
Board, is there anyone that is not planning on attending the Capitol Conference in Columbus, November 8th through 10th?
I plan on going.
You plan on going?
Yeah.
Plan on
Yes.
going? Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
You didn't say yes, everybody else said yes.
I thought I heard yes. Or did you say aye? Sometimes you say aye and sometimes you say.
Yes, yes.
I always say yes.
Okay. Okay, our meeting minutes, I would entertain a motion to approve the Board of Education record of proceedings for the meeting of July 22nd, 2015, as presented.
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Gebhardt and a second by Ms. Croft. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mrs. Croft?
Aye.
Mr. Elick?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mrs. Carpus?
Aye, motion carries. Ms. Hennis, treasurer action items?
Thank you very much. This evening, the first item is to acknowledge, express appreciation, and accept the following gifts and donations. Beverly and Richard Schmicken presented a donation of $200 to this Kimberly Schmicken Scholarship Fund at Elyria High School. The second item this evening is to approve the attached list of purchase orders in order to comply with the district's purchasing procedures as detailed in enclosure G2. And the third item is to approve the startup cash of $1,200 for food service and $125 for the Performing Arts Center. And that's just for them to have change for their events and for daily cash. And that gets delivered every Tuesday. Change gets delivered by the courier service for food service. And the Performing Arts, we just do it once a year. So.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the items as recommended
So
and
moved.
presented? Motion by Mr. Gebhardt. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bax. Are there any questions? Mr. Elick?
I have a question. Katie, I was just curious. It seems like we have two that are significantly over on this. The productive capital management is 60% over on the PO.
That's mine, and that is for the investment company that we use, and it was based off of prior year. And we're investing in a different format than we have in previous years, so they base it on the interest earnings. So we've earned significantly more than we have in the prior year. So our fee was higher than in the prior year
Oh, okay, because of the earnings.
because of the earnings.
And then also, too, on the other one, it looks like the ESC Lorraine County is up about 30% over the PO.
I'm not specifically sure which PO that would be. We have multiple ones for the ESC. I can look at it and provide you more
Okay,
detail.
that'd be great. Super.
I can't tell you specifically.
Okay.
My guess, if I had to say, it is for our preschool aides. We have 2 preschool programs, and we have aides that we hire through the ESC. And if they take sick days, we have to pay for their subs, so we have to estimate how many sick days they might take in a year or a quarter, and they bill us on a quarterly basis.
So we estimate for the PO, basically?
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
If you could just
So
let me know
I'll
on
look
that.
and
Great.
let you know.
Thank you.
Mhm.
That's it.
Thank you. Would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mrs. Croft?
Aye.
Mr. Elick?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mrs. Carpus?
Aye. Motion carries.
Yes.
Ms. Hennis?
Thank you very much. I'm happy to bring this to
Yay.
you this evening. After a long couple weeks and a long week last week, I would like to recommend to approve the resolution to close the Exceptional Needs Program with Ohio Schools Facilities Commission, which is the high school project. So the resolution states, whereas the Elyria City School District, Lorain County, Ohio, entered into an exceptional needs program with Ohio Schools Facilities Commission on April 10, 2008. And whereas all construction has been completed and all contractual obligations have been met, and whereas the final reconciliation of the Elyria City Schools District's Project Construction Fund, Fund 10, with the Ohio Schools Facilities Commission has been completed. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Elyria City School District, Lorraine County, Ohio, approve this certificate of project completion and authorize the president and treasurer to execute the certificate, and be it further resolved that the treasurer be authorized to close the project construction fund 10 and dispose of the remaining funds in accordance with Ohio Revised Code Section 3318.12.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do you have a second?
Second.
A motion by Mr. Gebhardt, seconded by Ms. Croft. Any comments or questions? Excellent, excellent job.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Long time coming.
Absolutely.
That's my comment.
Please.
I would like to, sitting in a different seat during that construction of the high school, being the high school principal, I had day-to-day and hour-to-hour and sometimes minute-to-minute communications with the construction project and the personnel that were involved in the construction, whether it was the project manager, whether it was the Ohio Schools Facilities Commission, the architect, to city leaders, to community leaders. And every meeting, and I know Paul mentioned this last time, and he spoke from a superintendent's level, but I could tell you from the building level administrator, I was at the meetings on a regular basis as well. And at every single meeting, when items were discussed, there wasn't one head that did not turn to Katie when there were questions. There was, every time there was a financial question, and it wasn't always financial either, it had to do with construction issues and everything else, they looked at Katie for her leadership and the records that she kept, and the ledger that she kept, and every time I know, as the principal, you know, I was just learning that process, and her explaining it was second to none. So I commend, from a principal standpoint, the work that she did the 4 years that I was there, because it wasn't something easy, because it was chaotic at times with the books, and again, it's a tribute to her that everybody did look at her for the direction and the accurate numbers, and kudos to you.
Thank you very much.
It was awesome.
Thank you.
And I'd like to note, when you say everyone looked to her, that we had entities that were hired and their representatives there that should have had those figures and should
Absolutely.
have been on top of them.
Absolutely.
And they looked to you for the definitive of what it really was instead of what anticipated it to be. And I also would like to say that it was not just a day-to-day, sometimes it was day to night and night to day. It depended
Absolutely.
on if the roof was leaking, not done
Absolutely.
correctly, all of those items. So it was a very major undertaking. You can see in the number of years and the closing out, as you were relaying to us, Katie, that many hours and much time spent in getting everything together and being able to do this. And it is not only a jewel for our district, for the city, but it's really a testament to the fact that everyone working together, you know, laws had to be changed. The law had to be changed to be eligible to be able to apply. We didn't meet the 5 criteria for application, so it was a lot of work, a lot of effort that went into being able to do this. And for the, on behalf of the community, looking at the fact about we recaptured tax dollars back to this district.
Absolutely.
We brought them here. And we weren't just going to let everyone else, you know, stand in line. Didn't matter. Change the law, whatever we had to do. Don't stop knocking on the door. There were times in snow and almost blizzard conditions. We were coming up to the high school and looking through and bringing our legislators through and letting
Absolutely.
them get a first-hand look. And all the support that we had from them, all the support from the staff, all the accommodations that had to be made during that project. When you look at the scope of that, we purchased an additional block. We vacated a street. We had students and teachers and the staff making accommodations in every area, whether it's keeping it clean, keeping it safe, being willing to, to move the classroom isn't where it was, and whatever that you had to do. Everyone together made it the success that it was, and anyone that tours, I know when you get an opportunity, and most of you that have read the Pioneer Press, and when Amy relates about the tour, about bringing groups in and coming to the high school, and some of the comments that they make, it really, really requires a congratulations, job well done to everybody involved in that project.
And the biggest, the nicest thing too, Mrs. Karpus, is the groups that go in there today, and it's a tribute to the kids and the staff and the community and the staff who works there to upkeep the building. As they walk in, it looks like it does the day it opened.
Yes.
Because of the respect and the appreciation and the commitment that the staff and the students have in that building, that they truly appreciate what this community did for them. And it's a great deal of pride, and it's a great deal of respect that they have for that facility that I know when I was talking to a tour not too long ago, they said, did it just open? I mean, it looks like it just opened, so it's pretty awesome, awesome.
And that right down to everyone, to our maintenance staff, to the cleaning people, to
Absolutely.
anyone, including the students, and how they take care of
Yes.
what was provided to them. That it really is a testament, and as we look at, and we've started some preliminary discussions and moving forward with OSFC, I think one of the things when we began the tours that stood out, and I know that Amy could speak to this, was the fact that people would come through that were naysayers. People would come through that said, you know, you don't need it. I went there, I did fine, I learned, I excelled, I did well. And when those people come through and they see it, you see the attitudinal change right there where they're speaking about the fact that they think it's great.
I think we heard it even with our senior speech this year at graduation, how proud she was of the high school and the accomplishments and that building.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. Thank you. Would you please, any other comments?
No, just
Hearing none,
thanks,
would you
Katie.
please?
Thank you for everything. Appreciate it. Nice job.
It was a team effort. It wasn't just one person.
Would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mrs. Croft?
Aye.
Mr. Elick?
Aye.
Mr. Gephardt?
Aye.
Mrs. Carpus?
Aye, motion carries. Treasurer report.
I do have just two things that I would like to mention this evening. The first item is I would like to just update you on, a few months ago, we brought to your attention a payroll issue that needed to go to have some legal action taken. Our attorney, Howard Lane, took it to small claims court at the end of July, and neither the HR director, Gary Taylor, or myself were able to be there to testify, so Wendy Fanta in my office was available to go. From what I understand from Mr. Lane, she did a fabulous job representing the district. The employee did, or non-employee, did not come to court, did not. So there was a judgment made. He's waiting to get the documents, so we should be seeking recovery for that and the court costs that we lost. So just wanted to update you on that. And then I also wanted to let you know that for the transitional plan, that I will be here on Wednesdays in the district. So
Thank you.
for any needs, so I'll be here all day on those days with the exception of the 19th. I'll probably be here for just a portion of that day because it's opening day. So just to let you know both of those two things.
Thank you for
Sure.
the information, and again, thank you. As you said, you had a representative from your department, part of the team.
Yeah,
Good
she
job
did a great
to
job.
everyone. Thank you. Superintendent action items, Dr. Jama.
Thank you. Madam President, I would like to recommend the following items for your approval this evening. Number one, to approve the payment of stipends as listed below. The amount as listed below, the following teacher for support in Ashland University mentoring program. And that's a new word I learned today too, the mentoring program. It's the student teaching or field experience program. So they're calling it the mentoring program, which is very nice. The stipend or the voucher will be supported by Ashland University with Leanne Zani. Next, $50 per half day, not to exceed a half a day, to the following Franklin teachers for participating in the professional development based around the positive behaviors and interventions and support strategies. This stipend will be supported by the Title I and Title IIA grant funds. The first list of employees under that bullet for the $50 are our certified staff members who will be participating, and they will be paid per the $50 per day. The next bullet, not to exceed 4 hours stipend at the hourly wage. These are our classified employees who are paid by the hour to participate in the PBIS program at Franklin School. Again, this stipend will be supported by Title I and Title IIA grant funds. And I know Mr. Rigda in his last meeting or the meeting before talked a little bit about PBIS. And PBIS is the intervention and supports that provide a proactive approach by staff to help students with behavioral assistance as well as social adaptation and for success in the classroom. So it's approach to keep kids in the class, not in the office, and away from disciplinary action. Number 2 on the list is to authorize the continuing participation and membership of the Elyria City School District, Board of Education, and the Ohio Schools Council for the 15-16 school year, and furthermore to authorize participation of the Elyria City School District Board of Education as a member of the Ohio Schools Council for Cooperative Purchasing at the agreed-upon membership cost of $1323.02. That is the fee that cost for the fee that is associated with us participating, and then the $400 is for our membership into that association, for a total of $1,723.02. And I know Paul spoke about this not too long ago as well. Our biggest items that we use for this purchasing agency or this agreement is for our natural gas and our electricity to get in bulk and get the best price. Number 3, to approve the content of the Elyria City Schools and the First Student Bus Handbook for the 2015-16 school year is detailed in enclosure J3. And just so you are aware, it's the same form that was used last year. There are no changes for the 15-16 school year. Next, we have item 4, and it's to approve the contract with the Lorraine County Court of Common Pleas Domestic Relations Division for one court liaison for the 15-16 school year, as detailed in enclosure J4. And last week, Dawn McCready and I had an opportunity to meet with the courts. This is a program that we participated in several years ago. And over the last couple years, we did not participate. We tried to use our home counselors to assist us with the attendance piece. And we found out that having a relationship piece with the court system by having one of their officers work with us, we were spending so much time with our Eric Burnett and Troy Hill sitting in court all day long waiting to hear hearings, that it's not beneficial for the district, it's not beneficial for the kids, and when they could have been working with groups in the school. It's a much easier process when you have somebody who is affiliated with the court, who's working there, who gets the list, who works with the principals, works with the staff, and gets the kids who are not attending school for a variety of reasons. Some, depending on their age, if they're at the high school, some of it's choices on their own that we're driving around chasing them through the city, getting them in school, or when they're elementary, the parents aren't getting them there. But what we're doing is bringing this person on board to help with our attendance, get the kids in school where they belong, and also having our home counseling team working with students in the building in groups who actually need it, rather than sitting in a courthouse all day, 2 to 3 hours waiting for a hearing. And Madam President, that concludes my recommendations for your approval this evening.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the items recommended as presented by the superintendent.
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Gebhardt.
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Bax. Are there any questions or comments?
I have one question.
Sure.
On our cooperative that we're in for the purchasing power,
Yes.
does it cost about $1,700? What sort of savings do we get out of that? Any guess or about what it is? Hopefully it's above $1,700.
I would imagine, because
Okay.
it's both programs, I mean, it's
with the
gas and electric.
Okay.
Both. And if there is an overall savings, if they save more than what they anticipated, what they billed us, I'm not saying this exactly correctly, they'll give us a rebate check at the end of the year. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So they give us a rate every month, and then we prorate it against our buildings. But if that rate, if they saved more than that rate, then they rebate everybody that participated.
Okay. Okay.
So we could, I mean, there could be a study, but I'm not.
I'm just kind of
sure
curious
at
if we
the time.
kind
But
of
if you don't
had an
go,
idea.
if you don't go with another, you don't know how much it would have been with the other.
Right.
So, okay.
No further?
There's other things that we can participate in besides natural gas and
Electric.
I'm not 100% sure we do any of
I
them,
don't
but we
think-
could if we chose to. I mean, they do offer other programs that we could look into participating in. We just haven't in the
Okay.
past. Those are the two that
Might
we've
be
chosen.
road salt. I'm not sure.
Okay, great, thank you.
No further discussion or questions?
Nope.
Would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mrs. Croft?
Aye.
Mr. Elick?
Aye.
Mr. Gephardt?
Aye.
Mrs. Carpus?
Aye, motion carries. Superintendent, did you have any
Madam
report? or-
President, there are no other items under Superintendent Other.
Okay. Personnel actions, please?
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to present the following items for your approval under personnel actions recommended by the superintendent. Under item 1, to approve the retirement of the certified staff member as detailed below for Shar Hersman. Shar, and I need to speak about her a little bit if I may, please. I had the opportunity to work with Shar for many years when I was the principal at Elyria High School. And in fact, she had an opportunity, and we had an opportunity for her to actually teach my two boys why they were at Northwood. And she was a coach, she was a teacher, and she did a real nice job with kids. So I want to wish her the best as she goes out on retirement, and thank her for her service to the Elyria City School District. Section 2, resignation of the certified staff member as detailed below. And I would like to mention something about this young man as well. Christopher Honick will be leaving us to take on an administrative position in the Fairview Park school system. And Christopher has been a teacher at Elyria High School. He taught in our special needs program as an intervention specialist. And I had the opportunity, as well as Mr. Newark and several of the building principals, to work with him as he progressed through his program. Was he through Cleveland State, Shane? Ashland. As he progressed through Cleveland State, and he took on many leadership roles at the high school, and this opportunity arose at Fairview, and the superintendent, Bill Wagner, called me last week and asked me what I thought of this young man for an associate principal, plus the person I believe at Fairview. They also do the special needs IEP meetings as well. So I told him he would do a great job, and Christopher was hired as the associate principal at the high school. And I know I spoke to Mr. Brown today, and we are filling that position as well, so it's not going to be an issue. Next, we have to appoint the certified staff members as listed below. We have Laura Barkdahl as a gate teacher at Franklin. Renus Henry, who, this is a name that I'm very proud of, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute, as the new homeschool liaison at Franklin. We have Katie Hill, who will be a long-term sub and title teacher at Crestwood. We have Amanda Mazzola, will be a third grade teacher at Prospect. Ryan Morgan is another young man that there's a proud story, and he will be the new business teacher at Elyria High School. Juliana Ramsey, an intervention specialist at Crestwood. I don't want to monkey this up because I said it many, many times. Help me out here. Iselia Santa. You know what?
Just
Her
like
and I
she
go
said,
at this
just like
every
Teresa
day
said.
at the high school. She's teaching me she's reminding me of my Spanish from my 3 years at Admiral King. She will be a new Spanish teacher at Elyria High School. And then we have Jennifer Schaus, who I'm happy to say, who we hired at the last board meeting as our volleyball coach at
Yes.
Elyria High School.
Yes.
We now are bringing her on board as an intervention specialist at Elyria High School, and there's a couple great things going for this young lady. One being from Elyria, living in Elyria, but she went to an outstanding undergraduate school.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's just something to mention. Slippery Rock, and it's that Ivy League school that's close
Just
to
a
Cleveland.
little east of us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Also,
Ivy League.
we have a variety of supplementals that are listed below, tutors and substitutes for the 15-16 school year. I would like to bring your attention to two names on the list. If, just for your information, we have Lori Doan and we have Barb Brown. These two individuals were counselors at Elyria High School who retired last school year. And we have them on as a substitute counselor this year because we do have a counselor who is experiencing some medical issues, and there's going to be times where this gentleman may be out periodically throughout the school year. And I think we all know how important it is to have a qualified person in place to work with kids on the graduation requirements, the IEPs and everything that's associated with the high school. So that's why they're coming in at a higher rate to meet the needs and have the best candidates with the experience specifically at Elyria High School to work with our kids. Item 4, we have to approve the resignation of the following classified staff member as listed below. And number 5, to reassign a classified staff member, and this is another one I'm very proud of, to approve the reassignment of the following staff member as listed below with Alana Wren. Alana is another one who is from Elyria High grad, and I had her as a student at Northwood. It's kind of fun to watch these students go from being in my office and talking about the boyfriends and girlfriends to now being employed as a teacher or a staff member within the district. So it's pretty exciting stuff. Item 6, to approve the appointment of the following classified staff members as detailed below. This is the classified staff members with building operations as well as personal attendance at Murray Ridge and substitute paraprofessionals. Item 7 is our game workers, to approve the following employees and not employees as game workers for their athletic service. These individuals work our football games, work our basketball games, collect admission, work the doors, and help out in all areas that are needed. And with that, Madam President, that concludes my personnel recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the personnel items recommended by the superintendent as presented?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Mr. Gebhardt, seconded by Mr. Elick. Are there any questions or comments? A great group in there, and we always are pleased to see we always have that nice mix, and I know they're very conscious when in hiring and looking at experience and having entry level and providing opportunities as well. A great mix for the students to have. Would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mrs. Croft?
Aye.
Mr. Elick?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mrs. Carpus?
Aye. Motion carries. Dr. John?
Madam President, before we go on to item M, I would like to, in our audience, I'm looking out there this evening, we do have a couple staff members who I just, well, I believe one for sure that I just read, and we also have one that was hired at our last board meeting, who is Dana Cerrito. Dana is the new assistant principal at Eastern Heights Middle School. Dana is an outstanding employee whose main focus is to make sure we're doing right by kids and making sure our students are being successful. And I, again, had an opportunity to work with her as she went through her certification to become a building level administrator. And when the opportunity arose at Eastern Heights, I know Dr. Bonetto, the building principal, and a team with Ann and a team with colleagues met with this person as well as the other candidates and did a remarkable job. And Dana was selected to be the co-leader or the assistant principal at Eastern Heights Middle School. And she is here this evening, and I would like to call her up to say a few words if she would like and introduce her family, which is exciting because I saw them here. And I'm just so proud of this young lady.
Thank you very much. Do I need a microphone?
Dana, I know you. I don't think you do, but
Yeah, and I think it's helpful.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
For the cameras.
Is it beyond? Okay. No.
No.
But now. It is green. Oh, now I
It has to
can.
warm up.
Well, thank you very much. I am privileged to have this opportunity to work with the students, staff, parents, and community in Elyria. I am proud to have you believe in me so much to help Kim or Dr. Bonetto run this school, and I am looking forward to our first day with students, chomping at the bit to work with them. So, and I'm proud of my family, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without their support. So, thank you so much.
who do we have here,
Would they
Dana?
please stand up?
Yeah.
Please stand up. This is my husband, Chris, holding my littlest son, Brandon. And then Joseph, can you stand up? Because I know you're tall enough. Joseph. My mother is sitting next to Chris.
Great.
Stand up,
This is
Mom.
my
Stand
support
up.
system.
Stand up.
They want you to stand up, Mom. I couldn't have done this without their help, so I love you guys and thank you so much for all you've done for me. So.
Thank you very much.
Gauntlet.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Thanks for my daughter.
Catherine.
No problem.
Thank you. And please know, mother and family out there, we always recognize all of the work that goes into the success of an individual, all the support of the family. So thank you for coming out this evening. Dr.
I
Dunn?
also, I know we have Rena's here. Are there any other staff members that I announced or that I may not know? Rena's, please stand up. Renas is the new home school counselor. We'll be working at Franklin Elementary School. Renas, keep standing, man. I'm talking.
Yeah, you don't get off.
Come on, buddy. Come on.
Oh, the principal's coming
I
out.
will tell you how committed this young man is. Him and I, he texted me earlier. Renas is, again, another former student who I had at Northwood and followed his path all through high school. And this is just an incredible young man. But Renas goes, I'd like to be at the board. I said, I would love to have you at the board meeting. And I got a text about an hour ago, Renas, and he sent me, Dr. Jama, I'm running late, and he sent me a picture of his flat tire. So, did you get it fixed? Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it's just another young man, a product of the Elyria City Schools, and we're so proud to have him on board as a new staff member. Congratulations.
Welcome. And you are welcome to come up and say a few words, if you'd like.
No.
Okay. Not required, but welcome to do so. Thank you.
Awesome. That's all I have as far as the introductions go.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
You wanna go
item,
down?
yes, item M, please.
Madam President, I do have one item under other personnel actions by the superintendent, and that is to approve the appointment of the certified staff as detailed below, and it comes under a different category, and we can see the name, which is the better half of one of the members up here. So with that, I conclude and recommend the other personnel action as I just outlined.
Could we just change that to $200 a day?
And you don't get to vote on the better half part of it either, so. I would entertain a motion to approve the personnel item as recommended by the superintendent and presented.
I'm going to say he's abstained from the better half piece, and then he didn't want to vote on the other.
Oh.
I guess it's up to you, Ann.
Oh, God. So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Elick. Do I have a second?
And
A second by Ms. Croft. Would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mrs. Croft?
Aye.
Mr. Elick?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
abstain.
Mrs. Carpus?
Aye. Motion carries. Dr. Jama, do you have any report for us this
Yes, I
evening?
do. Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. Something I would like to talk a little bit about tonight, and it's not going to take a lot of time, but it's something that I'm very proud of, and it's something I know I've discussed with the board on a variety of issues. It's also something I have spoken about to different groups that I've spoken to already, one with Connect Elyria. I know we recently had an article in the editorial page of the Chronicle Telegram with some of my goals and some of my belief systems, and I had the opportunity to talk even to the mayor about this in a meeting that I've had with her, as well as with my with our administrative team here at the district office. And as I mentioned a couple months back, that one of my top priorities with my administrative team and as an administrative outlook as far as my mission or my goals is to give people who live in the city of Elyria, have graduated from Elyria High School and or Elyria Catholic, or staff members who are currently in the district the opportunity to either look at other positions or work on positions for self-improvement. And in the last 2 months, we've done a lot of hiring in the Elyria City School District, and I'm proud just to say tonight that the goal and the directive under my administration has taken off and has gone extremely, extremely well. And the numbers that I'm going to share with you tonight are not concrete because some people still were waiting to make sure we get the appropriate background checks and all the criteria and protocols that you have to go through for hiring. But I will say the interview teams by the leadership of our Academic Services Department, working together with the teaching staff and with the non-teaching staff in Jim's department and the variety of departments in bringing new people on board. And when we think a lot of times, people say, are you going to hire teachers? But it's much more than teachers. It's our custodial team. It is our food service team. It's our team that works in so many different areas of the city. But I am proud to say over the last 2 months that we have taken this very seriously. We want to show the community that the only time that we're not going to talk has to do with issues, levy issues and money issues, but we're going to come to you and ask you for help to get people who we need to fill positions as well. And over the last 2 to 3 months, we've hired many people, but I'm proud to say that we hired approximately 16 people who are living or going to move into the Elyria City School District. We've hired approximately 16 candidates who have graduated from Elyria High School, and I believe there were one of those was from Elyria Catholic, and so I'm proud of that, but they're Elyria. And another area that I'm focusing on as an Elyria City School District, we know that, and going along with what Mr. Jablonski said, we are a community and we're blessed to have a variety of cultural differences in this town. And it's a blessing that we have so many different cultures and so many different nationalities and so many different people coming from all different walks of life. And another priority was to try to get more people of color and more minority candidates in positions of teaching, regardless if it's teaching or custodial or food service. And over the last couple months, we've hired a large number of those staff members of minority as well. The other part is that with the administration, if we have people in-house who are able to do positions that open up, for example, I'm going to use Dana Sarita for an example. Dana was an art teacher at Elyria High School, a phenomenal teacher, and but she wanted to move on and take the challenges on of the administrative team. And she's a new hire at Eastern Heights. We took Jody Johnson, who was one of our PE teachers and head volleyball coaches, who wanted to take on that challenge of moving into the administration ranks, and now she is an assistant principal at Elyria High School. And another good example was Alana Wren, who started out as a receptionist at Elyria High School. Over the last several months, Mr. Brown, Mr. Newark had an opportunity to watch her and to see the skills that she possessed. And boom, she's already moved into a secretarial spot, and she's doing a phenomenal job. We're bringing kids on in our custodial positions, regardless of the position, whether it's a cleaning, utility, or a custodial. So I'm proud to report tonight that the administrative team has done a phenomenal job in going out and seeking people to take on these positions. But we're also working very closely, and I met with the Lorraine County Urban League yesterday. I'm working closely with Frank Whitfield, who is another Elyria High School graduate who I'm very proud of. And Frank and I are working very closely to get more individuals into these positions that open up on a regular basis in Elyria. I believe you build an organization from the ground up, and we're hiring people that are proud of their school system, want to live here, and want to come back to the place that they call home, and they're proud Pioneer graduates, and we're very, very, very proud of that. And you know, I got a word message when I was out on Saturday. Somebody came up to us and they said, you know, Jama, we hear that Elyrians are being hired by the school system, and it's awesome. So the word's already out. I'm proud to report that.
Great. Not only do we espouse it, we practice the allowing opportunities for advancement as well as to value those that support and live in our community. I know another one of the things that we hear in students coming back when they go away for the college experience and they come home sometimes for the holidays or for the first time, I know we hear about how helpful and exposure to the diversity has been to them, having that background when they move on. So it's good to hear. And anything further?
That's it. Madam President, thank you.
Thank you. Hearing none, Board of Education, New Beginnings Project. We have, our recommended action is to acknowledge, express appreciation, and accept the second of 5 installments of $250,000 by the Stocker Foundation toward the New Beginnings Project. And we're hearing very glowing things about the difference that's making.
I spoke to the person who oversees that today, Ann Schloss, who has done a remarkable job in working to get the funding for this program, as well as the principal, Lisa, and the program coordinators and teachers who are involved in this. And it's another thing. I think you get the credit when you hear it from the people when you're at the grocery store and you are doing something, getting gas, and somebody says, wow, I really heard great things about what's taken place at Franklin School with the program, and the picture of the little kids with their capes on their back being superheroes. Was it superheroes, Ann? Is that what was the theme for that, though?
Just basically a celebration of advancing to the next level.
But they had their little capes, and I believe you saw the pictures of that.
Yes.
And when you hear that coming from the community at the gas station and at the local McDonald's, and you know good things are taking place. So kudos to Ann on a job well done and her team in building up that program and getting it to where it's at right now. And also when people make a commitment of money of that amount, you know good things
Yes.
are happening.
Do I have a motion to accept the second of 5 installments of $250,000 by the Stocker Center toward our New Beginnings
moved.
project? Moved by Mr. Gebhardt. Have a second by Ms. Croft. Any additional comments or questions regarding that? And again, kudos to everyone working on that. And I would like to say to Ms. Schloss, I know you were very instrumental in pursuing that and going after that rather large commitment investment from the Stocker Foundation. Thank you. Would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mrs. Croft?
Aye.
Mr. Alec?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mrs. Carpus?
Aye. Motion carries. Are there any board reports this evening? Board members?
No.
No?
I have none.
Okay. Hearing none, I will move to executive sessions, and I will entertain a request for an executive session for the purpose of discussing negotiations with another political subdivision respecting a request for economic development assistance, and for a finding that the executive session is necessary to protect the interest of the applicant or the possible investment or expenditure of public funds to be made in connection with the economic development project, with possible action to follow as authorized under Ohio Revised Code 121.22. Yes.
So moved.
I have a motion by Ms. Croft,
Second.
second by Mr. Bax, on my left. Are there any questions or comments to this? Hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mrs. Croft?
Aye.
Mr. Alec?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mrs. Carpus?
Aye. Motion carries. We will adjourn into executive session.